Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about the Survivor 46 premiere. We're back.
We're back. It's here. Survivor happened. It was a beautiful premiere. We couldn't talk about it till today.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about it. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/nerdtainment.
Yes. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Normally we do watch the premiere together and then recap it right after, but I had family visiting in town, and so I was tied up. So appreciate you guys bearing with us a couple of days, and we are excited to talk about this premiere right now.
Did your family tie you up? How was that?
It was good.
Were you literally bound?
I actually should catch you up off camera. It was an interesting
Just the way
visit.
you said tied up, I was like, wow, I didn't know your family was into that.
No.
No, just kidding. Yes, let's talk Survivor.
So, gone are the days. We've talked about this before, but still no Jeff in a helicopter, standing on the side, doing the big Tom Cruise thing. He's just on the beach with the drone shot.
I felt like the weather might have made them have to cancel that.
Was it raining?
Yeah, it was it wasn't like a superstorm, but remember they talked about who threw up on the boat ride. It was choppy weather.
They did talk about that.
So I was like, oh, maybe they had to cancel the helicopter. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Ben vomited.
Yes, right, exactly. Yeah. It was that. I mean, I probably would have vomited anyway, just because I all of a sudden on Survivor.
Do you get seasick?
No, I don't get seasick, but I get anxiety from heightened situations.
High stress situations. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I get a little seasick sometimes, so I was like, oh, that wouldn't have been great for me. But they divide them into tribes. I think they were already divided into tribes when the boat ride's over.
Right, exactly.
So the tribes this season are Yanu purple, Siga green, and Nami orange.
Oh, he did it, you guys!
Yes. I literally rewound because I was like, wait, what colors did Jeff say those were? Because you know me, I can't go off the color that I think the buff is. I gotta listen to somebody say it. So that's where we are this season. Purple, green, and orange is how we're starting things off.
We have to point out that the first little section was a narration.
Yeah, where you get to know everybody or select people, right?
Well, but Tevin was the only one narrating. He was like, Survivor as a game of blah, 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 blah. And I was like, who is speaking? And then, boom, it's Tevin. And I was like, okay.
I was like, that is a good soundbite.
Hello.
You summed up the whole game there.
Yeah. And what does that tell us about the
That's
rest
what
of
I
the game?
We think the same way. I'm like, would they really put the winner narrating what Survivor means to people in episode 1?
I mean, I think ultimately he narrated beautifully, right? Not everyone puts it together like that.
No, he did an amazing job.
So not necessarily winner, but maybe someone who's a big part of the season. We shall see.
He's great on camera. I'm liking him a lot so far.
Also, I don't know if you were able to pick up on this, but as we see the 3 tribes standing there with Jeff, and purple is very much dressed in purple as they do. Green is very much dressed in green as they do. Orange is not at all dressed in any theme.
Completely over my head.
There was.
I'm thinking back and I'm like, yeah, no, I guess they were kind of dressed in purple. Siga, I'm like,
they always,
maybe one person,
the tribes always wear.
For real?
Yes. Oh, David, yes. I'm sorry, I didn't know we had.
There are just things that happen in the world that I just don't pick up on with this colorblindness. Okay.
Each tribe, they're in their theme. Their clothing is always leaning towards that color. It could be a darker blue or a lighter blue, but it's going to be in that shade. And orange, we had a red. We had a white. We had a white with a rainbow stripe. It was all over the place where I thought.
Soda's not in orange, is she? She's in some sort of
Soda's the only one I think in orange. Oh, she was in a solid orange jumpsuit, but I think she was the only one.
Okay.
I just looked at them and I was like, wait, what did we do here, producers?
Maybe they're all colorblind. Everybody on Nami is colorblind.
I feel like they changed the color last minute or something, and we're like, whatever you guys have.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there, but it was very striking to me because I'm so used to the same colors. Anyway, what else did you
Challenge
notice?
time.
Here, okay, great. Marooning challenge.
Yes. So we're getting right to it as we have. I think this has been this way since they sort of rebooted with season 41, where there's this initial challenge to play for your flint and supplies. And on this one, they've got to climb under the muddy net. I always love the muddy challenges because it's such a great visual on camera once everybody's through it. Then they gather their puzzle pieces and build it. It's very straightforward. And the first one wins flint. The second one gets to choose whether they do sweat or savvy. And then third place team is stuck with whatever second place does not choose. So this one is not that dramatic, I didn't think. Like Nami,
because no one busted their head open and
there was no Bruce being ejected from the game because of a head injury. But basically Nami wins, and Tevin is kind of like a little bit of a VIP because he is the one who gets the flint off of the thing finally. But there's just
Nami, it was dramatic how they
flick
that flint off, and it's like, we got it. But I will say, it took some strength, and you could see quickly, Hunter, he runs out there, grabs one of those things, comes these huge puzzle pieces, hauls it back, is back to help with this second piece before anybody else has brought a piece back. And then the rest of them you kind of see just trudging along with these pieces. Yeah. So you definitely are some people strong, some people not.
For sure. We saw Maria was carrying one on her back by herself. Certain people are standing out as really physical players came to play. But Nami, that's the tribe to watch from this challenge and onward in this episode. And I think in the future, they're just going to win these challenges because the combination of people there, it's clicking and they're going fast.
Hate to toot my own horn.
Oh, let's do it. If you don't do that, nobody else will.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
When I did the astrology breakdown with Kendra and Chantel, not only do we break down their astrology, but we pull cards, tarot cards, and it was clear. We pulled Nami's first. And we were like, dang, is everyone winning off of this tribe? It was just such a good blend.
Wow.
And then we get to the other tribes and it's like, oh gosh, hot messes, not great cards, not signs that blend together. So we immediately were like, Nami is probably not going to tribal very often. They're going to be a strong, cohesive tribe. And then the one that goes to the tribal in this episode, we were like, they're the Hot Mess Express.
Wow.
So we did predict it.
Wow.
And I heard on the Twitter streets that other podcasters were saying quite the opposite, that Nami was going to be the Hot Mess Express. So I definitely have to toot my horn.
Pat yourself on the back with that because you were correct. So like I said, Tevin gets the flint for... And it was funny, the way they fling, like you say, they fling that key off. I feel like everybody watched that season where Carolyn was and her pants were falling down and she couldn't get the thing off. And everyone's like, that,
screaming
I'm not going to be that.
Yes, please don't do that. But Sigga Green is going to get second.
Yeah, and they're going to choose Savvy.
They're going to do Savvy specifically to make Yanu purple get exhausted by doing sweat.
Yeah. I think I would do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at this day and age, you have to kind of bank that you're probably not going to get sweat or savvy. That neither are going to happen. We haven't gotten it in a while.
I mean,
so might as well wear the other you wear them out.
Yes, exactly. Physically exhaust them.
Yeah.
Make them burn more calories for sure. One other thing I noticed during this challenge was I think it was Jess's glasses are absolutely covered in mud. And I'm like, Jess. I don't even know how she...
I think you said Jeff, and I was like, why is Jeff covered in mud?
Jess and Mariah are wearing glasses this season. Jess, though, specifically, I think is who I noticed covered in mud. And it got me thinking, obviously I wear glasses most of the time. I think most people need corrective something.
Yeah.
So the other people are wearing contact lenses on the island? Do they get
No, you can't.
contacts
Can you?
delivered? How are that many people...
I think a lot of people are able to see without corrective.
Really?
Just you and I. It's just you and I that can't see.
Huh.
I don't know.
I thought most people had bad vision.
Maybe they've all got LASIK.
That could be.
I don't know.
Just was it got me thinking because I'm like,
I would have to wear my glasses
way
out
more
there.
people,
I wouldn't be able to wear
people wearing glasses in the world than I do on Survivor.
Yeah.
It's kind of rare.
Right.
It's like the nerd wears the glasses, but I'm like, how are the rest of these people seeing? Do they get contact lenses delivered?
How do you guys see? That's our question of the day. We can't see.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought about that, but anyway, if anybody has any intel, let us know. So we go to Yanu Purple first, right? And they're going to do Sweat. And Jalinsky and Q volunteer to do it.
Why? Why, Jalinsky?
People are raising their hands and saying, I've got it.
Yeah. First off, I'm not raising my hand for anything in the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm just like, I guess I could, but I don't know if I should, you know? Yeah. I want to, like, reduce my threat level.
I'd be like, who else wants to raise their hand? Wait a beat. But yeah, here we are. We've got Q and Jalinsky. Mm-hmm. They've got to carry a bucket, you know, a small bucket, 1,000 gazillion paces away, and it's got holes. You know, It's just like ridiculous.
A friend was texting me while he was watching the premiere, and he was like, I would be looking for clay and whatever I could to fill the holes. And I'm like, well, that's a good idea, but they must tell them you can't do that.
And they did.
Yeah.
I would have said just put your buff under it. Like, obviously, yes, you can find other stuff, but like put your buff, do something to try to block those holes. But apparently, we have found out since the evicted person, I will always say evicted. The castaway who was voted out clarified that they did ask and they were told they could not. So... holes it is, guys.
Holes it is. And then we get a little bit of camp here as we, get to know people. And Banu immediately is being incredibly lovable in this Yanu Purple segment. Big personality, new U.S. citizens. The first thing he did was apply for Survivor.
Banu.
He seems like a great character.
Oh, my God. You guys. He's got a Scorpio stellium. We were like, whoa, when we were talking about him. I am so excited to watch him. Yeah. He is giving such great character.
He is. Yeah. And just so likable. So likable. So then we go over to Sika Green. Charlie and Ben volunteer to do Savvy.
Okay. Sika Green, Ben, and Charlie. Okay. They've got a letter puzzle. They've got a number combo lock.
Right.
And is it Ben who's like, I see the words. Let's go.
Yeah, he's like 7, 3, 4. And I think Charlie's doing the whole thing where he's like, I don't want anyone to know I went to Harvard. And so he's like, wow, you are seeing things I never would have seen. And I'm like, a word search isn't that hard. Like, you can see the words.
But then he's like, you've seen too many words. We need less numbers. And so then from that moment, they're a bit stuck. And ultimately, they're not seeing the other words.
I wouldn't figure this out, would you?
I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think I would look at that and be like, let me put together the letters that are left.
I would hope that after I realize I have too many numbers, I would look at the letters left. I would hope that that's my next thought.
Yeah. Where my mind was going initially before they showed us the solution was there was 20 and 7 and 3 and there were single digits versus double digits. So I was like, put together the single digit numbers and ignore the double digit numbers kind of a thing. But obviously that wasn't the solution either. They do give us the sort of obligatory shot of they show us that it says dig under the combo lock or whatever. And then they give us the shot of them looking underneath and they don't see anything.
But they didn't dig. Here's the thing though, in Survivor, dig. I know looking under a table is a thing. And feel like it used to be more prevalent. Mm-hmm. But lately we've been digging.
Yeah.
So good for you for at least looking under the table, but unfortunate that they did not start digging.
Yeah.
I feel like I would start digging just on any challenge in Survivor.
If you're stuck and you can't figure out whatever the puzzle is, just try digging.
Yeah.
Why not?
Seriously. So that's not going to go well for them.
Yeah.
But back at camp, we do see a little
talk about this in the water, right? They're all in the ocean, and first they're in the ocean, and this is what before Maria and Tam are talking in the forest, but they're all in the water talking, and I swear, and I went back and watched it again, Maria says, I've got one child pregnant with my second.
Yeah, I was
like,
she was saying no. I think she was saying something about when she was pregnant with her second.
Okay.
Because I was like, wait, did she just say she's pregnant? But then I think we got just a clip of it.
Yeah.
She was talking about when she was pregnant with her second.
Okay. Thank you for that, because I was like, I literally, again, rewound, like, did I hear that right? And I turned on the subtitles. And so I was like, I cannot imagine that, like, I was like,
not.
Do they let people do it if they're like a month pregnant or something? If they're within a window? But I think Maria also is like a little bit older. So like, pregnancies are more risky, whatever.
They sure are.
But I just was like, there cannot be a world where they would let a pregnant person go on Survivor and starve themselves and like push themselves to the physical limit.
I would hope that no pregnant person would want to do that. Like, no, you need nutrients.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to Nami Orange. Oh, but also Tim and Maria.
The alliance.
Yeah.
Basically, they're like, we're parents. Let's work together. But then Tim's going to change his tune. So we go over to Nami Orange, and so much talk about Andy Griffith. I never thought I'd see the day.
David, you know who Andy Griffith is,
Of course
correct?
I do. I watched that show with my parents growing up.
I'm constantly dumbfounded at things that people don't know. Because as I'm like live tweeting along with the show, all of a sudden people are like, what is an Andy Griffith? And I was like, oh, like I get it. It's a black and white. It's an old show.
Yeah.
I was not a child when it was on.
Yeah.
But I know about it, and I just feel like, don't you know about shows that came before?
They do, but the show that came before now is Friends.
No.
Okay? Yeah.
No.
That was 30 years ago.
Heart attack.
Okay?
No.
So...
Stop it. Do you not know Nick at Night?
They don't play that anymore. They play Friends.
Oh my God. Like, I was like, no. I was like, wait a minute. Like, calling someone an Opie used to be a thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you're an Opie type. And no one knows what an Opie is?
I know. They're like, opioid? What are we talking about? I actually went to see over the holidays with some friends. There's the Andy Griffith Pond is here in LA. They filmed the opening at. So I went to see that. And I was like, this is so cool. I love the Andy Griffith show.
Right? Ironically, it was Ron Howard's birthday yesterday.
No.
And some online person posted a still of him from the Andy Griffith show. And I was like, you guys, this is the Andy Griffith show. This is it.
How do you think Ron Howard is who he is?
Exactly. I was like, y'all don't even know Dallas Bryce Howard is Ron Howard. Like, you don't get it? She's Nepo baby.
Yeah.
Did I say it wrong?
You said Dallas Bryce Dallas.
You know what I'm saying, but she's a Nepo baby. Oh my gosh. Anyway, tangent, but yes, it's still shocking that two people would be like bonding over liking that show, because it is a bit ancient.
Yeah, yeah. But Tevin and Hunter, right, are the two who love the Andy Griffith show.
Yes.
And then Liz is like, I started this company and I sold it. And then I started that company and I sold it. And I'm pretty awesome. And Tevin's like,
okay.
So I'm here to actually get rich. And you're telling me you're already rich?
I mean, and she may not be rich. Like, who knows?
Right.
Like, some businesses aren't worth that much. But the fact that she was just like, toot horn, toot horn. I was like, dial it down.
Truly, yeah.
Just a smidge.
And then we see Soda build a fire, which I love to see.
Y'all, can we just take a moment to appreciate Soda?
She's kind of, this isn't a perfect comparison, but in ways she reminds me of Marianne.
100%.
Yeah.
Because she does not like rein herself in, right?
Yeah.
She's like, she was making jokes in front of Jeff. She's just like out and about. Like, and she's like loving the camp counselor vibe. Like she's all in.
Yes.
But I did want to give Tevin some love too. But Soda was like, wow, these are great characters.
Great.
Yeah.
We check in with Yanu Purple on the sweat. Jalinsky gives up and chucks the hourglass across the beach and shatters it. This is the second season in a row where someone has broken something.
What did they break last season?
Remember when it was one where they had to do like a high step thing and Jeff was like, if you break that thing, you're out. And then Jake. They broke it. Yeah, Jake.
And then he like apologized.
Yeah.
I could not believe he chucked that hourglass, but like honestly, don't we all want to chuck that hourglass? Yeah. That was so cathartic for Survivor fans.
Not Q though. Q's like, Jalinsky is a weak quitter.
I can't believe. First off, Jalinsky's like, several means 7. I can look at this hourglass and see that maybe it's like 2 hours. It isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And then he chucks it. I was like, what? a way to start your Survivor career.
He says this, Jalinsky's not going to be able to finish this because the man speaks in third person for the entire episode.
He's like, I've never spoken in third person before, but now...
I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I was like, maybe he doesn't, and this is some weird, like, the camera's on me, and I speak in the third person quirk, but I can't explain it.
I will say that in his exit interview, he claims that Q brought up quitting first.
Q is for quitter.
Mm. So I don't, that's certainly not the edit we got.
It's not.
And we definitely saw Jalinsky confusing reality with not.
But I also love the idea of Q just like manipulating him and planting a seed like, should we quit?
Yeah.
And then Jalinsky quits and Q's like, can you believe that guy quit?
Can you believe that quitter? he planted like, we're never going to be able to finish this. But honestly, Q's pep talk during this whole thing had me a little flustered. I was like, oh, hello, Q.
How so?
I was like, pep me up a little bit more. Like, he was just like, you got this. We're going to do it. We're not, like, the way he was doing it, I was just like, yes, when I'm down, I'm going to call Q.
Well, I got to tell you, I think Q, I'm already seeing Q as someone I underestimated in the preseason draft.
Oh, yeah?
He was one of our last picks. And
was he?
Yeah, I think he's kind of dialed in already. I've got my eye on him.
Okay, going to Siga.
Siga Green. They're the vibe tribe. They're vibing, surviving. Everybody's happy and like getting
Ben
along.
Ben is the Dina vibe.
Yeah. Everybody loves Ben.
Mariah is nerdy and weird, and she's trying to fit in.
She's like an awkward loner, and she's like, I have to like force myself to talk to people, and I gotta overcome this. And we do see a little bit of that. And then we basically see the women on this tribe clicking. Jem, Mariah, and Maria.
They sure did. They clicked.
Yeah.
They were like, this group, this is great. Mm-hmm. Never do it, ladies.
Yeah.
Never work with other women. It's terrifying.
Men are terrified of that. Mm-hmm. At Yanu Purple, Kenzie's a salon owner, and she is making the rounds. Her job is to talk to people and get them to open up.
That's right.
So she's the queen of this tribe, she says.
She is. She's a Leo. So obvious placement for her.
Mm-hmm.
Making the rounds. They're opening coconuts, having fun because they don't have supplies to open the coconuts.
Yeah.
This is great. And then Jess is scared to talk to people.
Yeah. Kenzie's kind of like, I don't really know what to make of Jess. Like she's, I guess, the Mariah of her tribe. Like a little bit quieter, maybe a little awkward. And we see this one-on-one conversation. I think it's with Kenzie. And Jess is like, I'm just playing a slow game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yikes.
Yikes. Yep. That's not good, but I get it. I get it. She's a Pisces. It's a very introverted placement. She is probably going to just be like, oh, crap. I'm in this game and everyone is like...
Also, I love playing a slow game because there's no need to like be a big flashy player pre-merge.
Yes, true.
So slow roll it. I love that. But like the fact that you're saying that is a little like, ooh,
yeah, you still got to show up for your tribe mates. You still got to make those connections. And that seemed to be difficult for her.
Mm-hmm.
But we do see here that Kenzie and Tiffany are like the duo.
Yeah.
And then they decide to work with Jalinsky and Q.
For now.
Leaving out Banu and Jess at this point.
Which is interesting because Banu seemed like everybody liked him at first, but I guess maybe he's just like too friends with everybody that they're like, I don't know if I can like really trust you because you're just seen in with everybody. Then we go over to Nami Orange and we get the singing. Soda is the camp counselor, and Hunter's like, I am also a camp counselor and I hate the singing. That part is my least favorite part.
That's so funny. I can't relate because I sing for everything, but I just thought that's gotta be so real for so many people because so many people aren't singers.
Yeah.
That they're like, please stop making me sing.
Yeah.
Can you please stop singing? Like, I just can't. Like, I thought that was hilarious.
Yes. But this is where we see Tevin and Hunter, like, go off again and talk about the Andy Griffith Show again. And they're just kind of like, it's very much like an Odd Couple kind of a moment where they're like, can you believe it? Like, the two of us are bonding over the Andy Griffith Show. And it seems like they're trying to push, like,
we can't believe it.
Who would have ever thought that Hunter and Tevin would work together?
No.
You know, but they seem to.
I thought Hunter played this pretty well. I mean, it seemed awkward. I was, like, uncomfortable. But just explaining, like, hey, I'm not this type of person, but I want to work with you.
Yeah.
It was like comparing him and Jess, right? Jess was like, I'm not this kind of person. I'm shutting down.
Yeah.
And Hunter's like, I'm not this type of person, but I'm sharing that with you and I'm hoping, like, an olive branch, like, can you work with me?
Yeah.
So I was like, that's smart.
I would love that if somebody came to me with that kind of a proposal, like to say, we may not vibe personality-wise, but I want to work with you. I'd be like, oh, yes, like, let's figure that out. Like, that seems like a good partnership to have in the game, something that people wouldn't expect, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. At Sega Green, Charlie is nerding out on Taylor Swift and Shirley Temples.
Okay. I mean, Swifty's very trendy right now. That's great.
Yeah.
But I did love that everyone's, like, talking drinks, and he's like, I like a Shirley Temple.
Yeah.
I had Shirley Temples when I was about 6. I do remember that being my jam when I was a little child.
It's like sugar water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Not when I was 20-something.
You seem like a child.
But he's going to be the golden boy here. Because
Of course the women are like, Taylor Swift, come with us.
Come with us.
Come, you're home. You're safe with us.
You have been the chosen one. We shall take you in.
And they're fully like, we're Charlie's angels. And he's like, you are? Okay.
Please don't name anything like that. Don't do it.
Because Charlie's like, I love women.
Yes.
I have women bosses, and they're the best bosses.
Yes.
And I love women too. Sarah's one of my favorite women.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But this is what we like to see. We like to see, hey, I love the women. Let me join the women.
Yeah.
That's the vibe we like.
Yeah. But Tim is suspicious of what are those women talking about?
Tim has a mom and an aunt.
He knows how they are.
That's not how I thought that sentence was going to end. He was like, I have a mom and an aunt, so I respect the ladies is how I thought it was going to go. But it took a turn. I was like, I hope your mom and aunt smack you upside the head when you return.
I've met a woman.
I've met a woman. They're up to no good.
Nothing good ever happens in the land of women. So we got to shut this down. We got to get a woman out. We're doing a men's alliance. And Charlie's like, oh, okay. I guess I have this as well.
Yeah, Charlie's like, great. I'm in the perfect position. Look, I just wish Tim had phrased it differently. If you see collusion, no matter who the group is, call it out. Oh, that group over there is
you
working
could just be
together.
Like, those three.
Yes.
You don't have to be like,
I have a mom and aunt.
Yeah.
I know how women are. That's where we went wrong, Tim. That was the moment. It's fine to call out people working together, but don't bring it down to them ladies are shady.
My mom is a backstabber.
What are you saying? Oh my gosh. Tim. Okay.
Oh, then we get a little idol search. Over at Nami Orange, Venus is looking for an idol because somebody called her a princess.
Oh, she got pissed. She was like, I knew it. Those a-holes.
She's like, I'm in danger.
Think I'm a princess.
Yep.
I'm like, the curse of being beautiful, Venus.
Well, yes. I mean, it does seem like there's a little bit of a curse on her for being beautiful because it's Randon, right? Is how you say it?
Yes.
He catches her looking for an idol.
Yeah.
And then basically he goes to Soda and he's like, Venus is looking for an idol. And let me tell you what, that's Parvati Light.
Parvati Light.
Parvati Light.
Oh, Lord.
That's Diet Parvati.
Yeah. Okay. I swear, any beautiful woman cannot play Survivor.
No.
Because they're immediately a Parvati.
Yeah.
It is. But here's what I love about Soda. She's like, I heard you, and I ran it back to Venus.
Well, and she's like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
You're turning on Venus. You gonna turn on me?
Right.
What do I have to do for you to run and tell somebody else about me?
I'm catching the vibe here.
Yeah. So I love that she went back to Venus.
Yeah, and Venus is like, okay, got it. And then Liz is allergic to all foods.
Literally everything. She can't eat.
I was like, and you chose to go on Survivor? Okay.
Right.
Best wishes to you.
Yeah.
I don't know how
she
you're going to survive.
She can't eat, like, the native fruit, right?
Yeah. I don't think she could eat the coconut.
They're like eating coconut.
And she's like, no, can't do it.
It hurts my stomach.
Oh, everything is going to hurt your stomach.
That's going to change.
I hope so.
Because she's going to get so hungry.
Yeah.
That she's going to have to eat it.
I mean, there are definitely real allergies out there.
For sure.
But maybe it's not so much an allergy. Maybe it's other things.
I think at some point... Yeah, look.
I'm hoping it's not an
some
allergy.
Allergies are life-threatening.
Yes.
Some allergies, it's like, I get an upset stomach. So I think if you're starving versus having an upset stomach, you might grin and bear it and get the upset stomach just to have calories. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Right.
She also sold multiple companies, so they might vote her out first. I don't know.
Exactly. So maybe it's not going to be an issue.
Yeah.
But now a boat is going to arrive.
Wait, is it Liz? Is it Liz who sold the companies, or was that Jess?
No, Liz.
Liz, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So yes, the boat arrives, and Jalinsky's like, opportunity to volunteer? Me.
No, this is... Wait, what? The way I had whiplash, that nobody was like, okay, you just quit the sweat.
Yeah.
No, you're not going on this journey. Like, how... The audacity.
Yeah.
That Jalinsky was like, I want to go.
But they let him.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think if someone volunteered, I'd be like, okay.
No. Well, I mean,
because I'd use it against them.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can use it against them. But I feel like I'd be like, let's do something just random for the whole tribe.
For sure, which is what the other tribes do. Yes. I kind of was shocked that they were just like, okay, Jalinsky, yes, you again. Tevin, they are rolling a die. They're rolling the shot in the dark die on that tribe, and Tevin gets his symbol rolled, and that's how he gets chosen to go on the journey. And then Maria wins by rock, paper, scissors.
Can I say, I would like to know who came up with the shot, rolled the shot in the dark.
I loved that.
How brilliant is that?
It's so easy.
There are it's a 6-sider.
Yeah.
There are 6 people.
There's different symbols on all sides, apparently.
Amazing. Brilliant.
Done. You roll the dice one time.
Great.
Yeah. So those are the 3, Jalinsky, Tevin, and Maria going on this journey. And Jalinsky's like, you know what? Like, going on a journey, episode 1, that's legend stuff. That is Survivor legend.
Sir, you are a legend.
Jalinsky is a legend.
Of other things. But yes. You're correct, sir. You're living the dream.
True. I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm.
3 cards. This is a new and different thing. This is exciting.
I gotta talk about this.
Oh.
I do not understand what was at stake here.
Okay.
There's the torch, there's the skull, and there's the vote.
Yep.
They draw their things.
Yes.
You have to reveal if you're the torch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to guess who has the vote card.
Yes.
Or block. Because if I guess that you have the vote block and you have it, we get an extra vote.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to... So let's just cut to the chase here. Jalinsky has the skull card. Maria has the torch.
Yeah.
Tevin has the vote. If Maria guesses Tevin, what happens to Jalinsky?
He lost his vote. That's what happened. He lost his vote.
And what would happen if she picked Jalinsky?
Then he would have gotten the extra vote, and the other 2 would have lost their vote.
Okay. I don't think that was adequately explained in the show, so thank you for clarifying that right now.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's basically a random draw is going to put 2 people in cahoots without, really knowing, and 1 person alone. And so the torch person now is deciding who's got the vote card. If they choose correctly, they get an extra vote. And that vote card person gets an extra vote. So it's motivation for that vote card person to be like, it is me. It is really, really me. But the other person is motivated to be like, no, I will lose my vote. I want the extra vote, so I have to lie.
And then both of the other 2 lose their votes.
They would lose their vote. But Jalinsky, although he does start with what the game is set up with and lying, he ultimately, because Maria points out, we will all hate you. Yeah. You're a big liar. I will take this back to my tribe. I mean, that is a reasonable thing to consider. Down the road, do I want to be labeled as a liar? No one willing to work with me for an extra vote.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, an extra vote's not that big of a deal. Is it at this point?
Yeah.
Could be. Could be in another week or so, I'd say.
I would have known sooner. Then I do love that strategy on Maria's part, and it works because Jalinsky's like, all right, I give up. I have the skull card, and you guys should just take your extra votes, and they do.
Yeah.
And I thought this game sucked, but I would have known when Jalinsky started, and he goes, "I'm not gonna lie to you, I have the vote card." I was like, "You're a liar."
Oh, I thought that was
starting
brilliant.
with, "I'm not gonna lie to you."
Why would Tevin not immediately go, "I have it"? Just to start us off here, I do have the vote card. Like, whoever says it first, I think has it.
I do. I agree with that, but I just thought that, like, the first thing you're saying is, "I'm not going to lie to you." Why are you saying that? Because you're lying.
Well, he's a liar.
But you're right. If I had the vote card, and if I didn't have the vote card, I hope that I would have the presence of mind to realize that you have to say, "I have the vote card." Like, immediately.
Immediately.
Just say, "It's mine. I have it."
Just be like, I do have the vote card.
Yeah.
Just as we're getting started here, I do have the vote
and
card.
like just I don't have to like do whatever because I have it.
Right.
So I don't need to be like big, and I don't need to convince you because it's here. Like, I have the vote card. That's it. You just have to like speak as though that is it.
A new game.
Yeah, I did too.
And I liked watching people kind of squirm and try to figure it out. But I think Maria did the right thing. And it worked. It worked on Jalinsky. He was like, "Look, that ain't worth it. My game. I'm going to protect it. Who cares?"
He should have.
Yes, he should have. Because now he goes back without a vote. And he, again, not always aware of reality, was like, "Hey, this is what I did."
Hey, I gave up again. And they were like, "Twice?"
They're like, "Wait, what?" And he was like, "Well, I didn't want them mad at me. They're getting an extra vote." You gave them an extra vote?
So
why are you giving them an extra vote?
Yeah.
And it's like, obviously for selfish gameplay, that's the only reason you would do that. And so I think if I were his tribe mate, I'd be like, "Okay, I see that you set yourself up down the road, but that does not help me at all. Because as an alliance member, you don't have a vote now. You're not good to me."
Yeah.
Doesn't look great.
I just would have been like, I drew the skull card and I lost my vote.
Yes! Don't give them every little detail.
Not like I gave up.
Yeah.
Like.
Be like, there was this new card game where we drew a card and I got the skull, so I lost my vote. Period.
Done.
Protect yourself. Oh, awareness did seem to be an issue.
Well, then Maria tells the whole truth and nothing but the truth as well at Siga Green.
Because she's a badass.
But then Tim's like, "Those women. Ooh,
look, I told you about my mom and aunt. Now look at Maria." Oh, Lordy.
Yes. So before we get to the immunity challenge, we're going to check back in with Yanu Purple one more time.
I did feel like this was too long.
This whole segment?
Yeah. Well, no, I was like, we're still going back to the tribes.
Oh, we were halfway through the episode when the journey started.
I mean, I love a 2-hour episode, but
come on.
I need more challenges.
Let's keep it moving. Yeah. So Jess has not slept. She breaks the shelter when she sits on it. She's telling us about, her ADHD diagnosis and all of these things.
God.
She's losing her water bottle. She doesn't want kids because she would lose them just like her water bottle.
I love it, Jess.
And what I did like about this segment was like, finally some personality seems to be coming out.
Right.
And like, endear yourselves to these people. Like, it's like, maybe you are like paranoid and self-conscious. Like, oh, I lose everything all the time. But if you can just kind of add a little levity.
Laugh about it.
I think people are like, "Oh, that's why you're a little weird because you have ADHD and da-da-da-da."
And haven't slept. Yeah.
I was like, okay, good for Jess to like show a little bit of herself here.
Oh, completely. Like, you got to laugh about it for your own sanity.
Yeah.
But especially to like try to get your tribe in on it.
But really, this was just like a segue into an idol search because she sort of says something like, "Well, I should probably look for an idol." Cut to Banu's looking all over for an idol. And it's really the focus is on him.
Yes.
Doing a lot of searching.
But it's Tiffany.
The way this was edited, it's Banu. He picks up a rock. He's digging. He doesn't want them to see. they don't even show us that Tiffany's looking until she's like, I have the beware advantage.
There it is.
It's like, what? Not one shot to set up that Tiffany's also looking?
Maybe
but
she just
whips it out.
stumbled on it.
Yeah.
But she, not only does she whip it out, but she immediately calls over
Kenzie, right?
Kenzie, yes.
Yeah.
I was like, take a beat and think about if you
they're
really
the
want
duo.
to share.
They're the duo. They are so in with each other, and they honestly have similar personalities. They're both kind of like very like what's the word I'm looking for? Like effervescent, like big, loud, chatty personalities. So yes, outgoing. So they dig up this locked box.
Yes.
And
basically she has lost her vote.
Yeah.
Because she has to get a key, but can't do that until they lose an immunity challenge.
Love that wrinkle.
Oh.
It gives one motivation to throw a challenge, perhaps.
I don't love that.
I mean, Yanu Purple doesn't need to throw a challenge. They're just never going to win.
Yeah.
But if this were Nami Orange, somebody might have to think about like,
yeah, how long can I go without a vote?
How long can I go? So I loved that added layer to this.
Yeah, I'm not going to throw my first immunity challenge, that's for sure.
Not the first one, but like maybe the second or third.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If I don't have a vote.
Yeah. So then she's only going to get further instructions, yada yada. She tells Q and Kenzie that alliance is still kind of a thing, but they do seem to leave Jalinsky out of this.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Then we go to immunity.
First, we have to learn that the word several is actually seven-roll. Mm-hmm. That's actually what the word means.
And he keeps talking in third person. And I'm like, we saw some of it in confessional, so I was like, maybe it's just a thing he's doing there.
Yeah.
But then he does it in front of everybody else too, and that would drive me crazy if somebody was doing that on the island.
It would. I'd be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Don't do that. No, but I do love that Jeff was like, I'm sorry, wait, several means seven, and the entire everybody else is like, that's not a thing. And he was like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Everyone else is like, I think it means like more than a couple.
Yeah. I think it goes a couple, a few. Several. So I think several is 4 or more because
I always think a few is 3.
3, yeah. 3-ish. Mm-hmm. Several is going to be 4 or more.
Yeah.
But look, he thought it was 7. Great.
Yeah. Okay.
Now we have a big 500-pound, 15-foot long gecko.
Please tell me what you thought of this. I've never seen anything like this on Survivor. I'm like, are they trying to like appeal to the kids?
Well,
and like hip up these challenges or make memes or something like that? Like, did they think this gecko was going to be memeified?
Yeah, going to be cute or something?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. They have carried, like, big, oversized objects before.
Usually it's like a big sack of coconuts, not a gecko.
There was, like, a snake or something one time.
Oh, that's fair.
But I felt like it was a snake because it was just long and straight. Like, right? That's so simple. But the gecko had to have a head and feet and
fingers.
Yeah, I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I just felt bad for them that it was so heavy.
500 pounds, and they're dragging it over obstacles, and then they basically, once they drag it through the obstacles and like hook it onto the end of their platform, they can put together this massive puzzle. I was so worried as they were going over these obstacles that this 500-pound gecko was going to fall on top of someone and crush them.
Yeah. No, it looked super dangerous.
And people were falling off of the obstacle as they were trying to pull it over.
Yes, right.
I was like, this is so dangerous.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one got injured.
Yeah.
And then if it fell over, they had rules. Like, they had to turn the gecko right side. Like, there were rules. It had to face the right way. Maybe that's why they made it an animal.
Maybe.
So, like, specifically say it has to look this way when it's moving.
Jeff is like, that is 500 pounds of Survivor gecko. And I'm like, that I never would have imagined that I would hear Jeff Probst say that.
Yep.
But Nami Orange is going to take an easy lead. Again, Hunter, I do think, is kind of an MVP on that tribe. But clearly the whole tribe is working together really well. And no, it doesn't seem like there's a super weak link that's holding them back.
Nope. They're doing great. Get to that puzzle first.
Before the others are even over the first obstacle.
Yeah, because it's quite the obstacle course, right?
Yeah.
We're like up and we're over and we're down and we're like, and then you end with that big wall that we usually see people having to pull themselves up.
Yeah.
And they're pulling that gecko up. I mean, that was a really tough obstacle course. Mm-hmm. So the fact that Nami's just there is like, whoa,
amazing.
Okay. Yeah.
And they are almost done with the puzzle.
Yeah, basically.
By the time Yanu Purple finally gets up and hooks their gecko to the podium. Siga Green...
They were so far behind.
So far. Siga Green is second up to the puzzle.
Yeah.
But there's this, attempt to be like, can Yanu Purple make up the time? It's Jess and Jalinsky on the puzzle. Nami Orange is like done. They've won first place. And now it's like, can Yanu Purple catch up to Siga Green? No, they cannot. They never had a chance. They're incredibly frustrated.
Yeah.
And they're going to tribal.
Yep.
And Banu is brokenhearted.
Yes, he is. Oh, you guys.
Yeah.
He's going to be emotional.
Not his survivor
and
dream.
Intense.
The preview's so good.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's go to Yanu and get ready for tribal.
Well, Jalinsky is feeling solid with his alliance of Kenzie, Tiffany, and Q.
He's going to chill.
Yeah. And he's like, listen, legends, this is what legends do. I'm going to get Jess out, and I'm not even going to cast a vote, because that is what legends do.
That's what legends do. And, cut to his alliance being like, we're taking out Jess, right?
Yeah.
And we'll just say that Jalinsky's the plan, but we're going to take out Jess. Mm-hmm. Which I'm like, this can't be, right? This can't be.
It's too easy.
It's too easy.
It's been happening the entire episode that Jess is like, whatever.
Yep.
Tiffany is like, I can't talk plans right now. I am so psyched to have lost this thing because now I get to go to this box. And she pulls it and she's got to decode this message. And she does it's basically like Charlie and Ben, and when Ben's finding the numbers and Charlie's like, wow, but I think Charlie was faking it, but I think Kenzie genuinely is like, whoa, woman, I don't know how you're figuring this out so quickly.
She's like, you're on a different planet right now, but I'm loving it. You keep going. And honestly, she was. Y'all should have put her on the savvy thing, because she was like seeing the letters and the thing and beautiful minding it, and it was coming together. And then she was like, the point, let's go. I mean, she seemingly did this just like boom, 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 boom.
I was like, how can the cameraman even keep up with her? Because she's sprinting along the beach and through the woods and all of this.
And look, when we get clues for things like the point of the summit, like they give you kind of vague stuff, and we've seen players dig and dig and dig in the wrong spot and become defeated. So when she heads to the point, I'm like, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know if this is it.
That's it.
It was it.
She nailed it.
She's like, there it is.
And she runs back, unlocks the thing. It's very colorful. It's kind of like a Taylor Swift friendship bracelet, this idol. It's not like pieces of wood and feathers and all of that. It's just like some beads. But, Survivor bucket list item checked for Tiffany, which is great.
Yep. Way to go. Got your vote back. Got your idol. You're good to go.
Then we go over and we're going to check in with Q and Banu. And Q's like, Jalinsky is all talk and no results.
Q's like, here we go, guys. I hear you, but I don't like Jalinsky.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, he steps up and delivers nothing.
Nothing.
He's got to go.
Failed on sweat. He caved on the journey, and he blew it on the puzzle.
What's he giving us?
What more do you need?
What kind of alliance member is this?
And Tiffany's like, Jalinsky second. We got to get Jess first.
Yeah.
And they're very focused on like, Jess is not bringing anything physical, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I hear you. Mm-hmm. But I agree with Q that Jalinsky is a more logical first vote out than Jess.
Look, the edit did Jalinsky no favors.
Yeah.
We as viewers are like, why would you keep Jalinsky?
100%.
Now, that's because of the edit, and probably because he destroyed an hourglass.
Yeah.
And they were like, so therefore we will destroy you, Jalinsky. But to us, we're like, no, why would you get rid of Jess, who's just a little out of it because she's not sleeping? Like, give her a minute to adjust.
Yeah.
When this person has proven that he's self-interested and just a little clueless and willing to give up at any moment's notice.
Yeah. I'm surprised that we didn't get more of an edit of like, not only is Jalinsky failing to deliver, but he's also like a little annoying. Like, nobody seemed annoyed by him. Banu loves Jalinsky, and that's like why he's having such a hard time with this. He's like, I love the guy.
Yeah.
People seem to not be connecting with Jess.
Right.
And I think that's really what's behind it. Even though Kenzie's like, Jess is the weakest one physically. I'm like, I don't know if that's actually true. You might be weaker, Kenzie, than Jess. Like, I don't know.
But They're connected with Kinsey.
Anyway, that's sort of the narrative. Like, we love Jalinsky. We don't want to vote him out yet. And, Jess is weak physically. What are we going to do? So it's one of those two going into this first tribal council.
Now, I will say, back to our astrological assessment of these players and these tribes, one of the reasons that we felt like this tribe was going to struggle is because the majority of these players are fixed energy. And fixed energy are people who are very good at following through on a plan. They are not good at pivoting and seeing other options. So I really loved seeing immediately, Q's got a plan, Tiffany's got a plan, and they just don't want to budge. Yeah. They don't want to see the other person's plan. They want to go with their plan. And that is going to be a common thread with this tribe. Obviously, they worked through it because they do have a unanimous vote here. Yeah. But that is going to be one of their struggles.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we get to tribal, it opens with Jess talking about the sleep deprivation.
Yes.
And so separate from our draft, I have another fantasy draft thing that I do. It's my number 2 draft.
David.
The number 1 draft is Nerdtainment.
It's cheating.
But in this other, it's like a fantasy game.
Yes.
Every episode, whatever. It's the same as ours, but it's on a website.
Okay, great.
That's not Nerdtainment. So in that one, you pick your sole survivor.
Okay.
And I picked Jess.
Oh.
And I'm like,
you nervous?
Yikes. I almost picked the first vote out of this season. But my hope is that she's getting the Aubrey edit, where you are so out of sorts. You've never experienced anything like this. You are having a panic attack. You're melting down. You can't sleep, and then things click into place. And you're like a master strategist. Yes. That's what I hope Jess's future is this season.
It's super possible. Like you said, we've seen it before.
Yeah.
Yes, she's lovely. I want her to sort of be able to figure it out. I definitely was worried we were going to have a quit with part of this edit.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, let's give her some time to settle in and hopefully sleep. I mean, I'm useless if I don't sleep.
Well, and Jeff is like, I get it. People have a hard time sleeping.
He's like, this happens.
But Jalinsky. You know what people don't do?
Oh my God, the producers had him prepped.
He was like, I heard you quit on the sweat challenge.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And Jalinsky's like, I would never quit a challenge. He's like, but yet you did. And then Jalinsky's like, you know what, Jeff? You're right. I did. What? Oh, buddy.
And this is, too, when he's like, and I've never spoken in third person. And Jeff's like, not what I heard. I heard you do it all the time, actually. But when this was happening, I a little bit sided with Jalinsky.
Oh.
Because I'm like, yeah, Jeff, they quit because you put impossible challenges in front of them. They were never going to do it. So they chose to save the calories. That's it is a valid strategy to say, like, we're going to preserve energy rather than do something that we know we're going to fail at.
Yeah.
But Jeff loves to dig in and be like, you never know if you're going to fail unless you try the whole time. How dare you come to this island and not finish the task we set in front of you?
Yeah, I feel like Jeff had a part to play in this vote. He was like, I'm not letting Jalinsky get away with his behavior because he crashed an hourglass.
Yeah.
Jeff was bitter and he was like, let's make sure we talk about you quitting sweat. And then he was like, also tell me about the journey, Jalinsky.
Yeah.
Like he was not letting
He's
Jalinsky
like,
go.
Let me tell you how many people quit last season.
He's like, I ain't playing that again.
That's done. Okay? So.
Jalinsky's like, yeah, I guess.
But then when they're talking about the journey, Jalinsky is just stumbling over himself as he's trying to find some sort of silver lining in what he did. And he's like, it might be to our advantage that they have extra votes. And Jess goes, how would that...
Literally how?
How would that be to our advantage, though?
Please explain.
And he's got nothing.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know. Somehow down the road. It could, maybe.
But it's between the two of them because then we go back to Jess.
Yeah.
And she can't form a thought.
Yeah, and she truly is struggling in this tribal and is kind of like, stop coming to me. I have nothing else to say. She's like, oh, blah.
Yeah.
Which I feel for her in that moment because I would have probably been similar.
She's like, I promise I'm solid one-on-one with these people, but I am losing it right now, and my mind is in a completely different place.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, are they going to vote her out for this? Mm-hmm. It's not adding up for me.
Yeah. And Banu then says, I mean, I love Jalinsky, but I don't know, maybe it's too little too late. And Jeff's like, so are you saying it's Jalinsky? And Banu's like, I'm saying it's time to vote.
Time to vote, Jeff? Question mark? Let's just go. Banu's like, let's shut it down, Jeff. We're done.
Yeah, stop. Don't make me say something I'll regret.
But, they were just having the talks because obviously they had all decided to take out Jalinsky.
Yes.
Which, let's be real. This is usually when we're very devastated about a first boot. It's so hard to go out first.
It is.
But I feel like we are all in consensus that it is okay for Jalinsky to go out first. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for him. I think that this is for the best.
And he at least got to say on TV that he's a Survivor legend. Whether or not that's true, at least he got it out there and he put it into the world.
I do think he is a legend. We will talk about him in the future.
For sure.
He will not be forgotten.
I will say, my first boot favorite remains the same. Queen Reen. That will never change. Nobody's ever dethroning her for me as the best first boot of all time.
Right, but
certainly not Jalinsky.
She's the best first boot for other reasons.
Yeah.
Jalinsky's a solid first boot because we don't need him to keep playing. We needed Reem to stay.
We needed her.
We needed her to sit on that island.
Thank God that island existed.
For an entire season.
And just berate people as they showed up.
We needed that. Yeah. She's at a whole other level.
Yeah. Did you notice that when they revealed all the votes, I mean, we saw 3 of them and then it was done because Jalinsky didn't have a vote, so that's all he needed. But when they showed all 5, every single person spelled his name differently.
I mean, it is a...
It is. We will never know how to spell it.
Well, I do.
Oh, do you?
Yes. Because
spell it.
Jelinsky.
Okay. It is the J-E-L that everybody got wrong.
Yeah. They want to do J.
One person wrote DJ.
Yeah.
And they all wrote J.
I was like, oh, someone knew his first name is David.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But he walked out surprised it was him.
I wasn't.
No one else was surprised. Mike Bloom, who was actually there live watching the tribal back in the when it happened, was like, yeah, no, it was even more obvious in person. And to see him say he was surprised is just icing on the cake that he is not fully aware of reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a fantasy world that he lives in.
Whose draft team was he on?
Okay, first off, there have been questions in the chat, so I do want to address that we were unable to live stream our draft this season, but we did do a draft behind the scenes, so we do have that we will update as we go, and I will eventually put the link in this description.
Yes.
But let me pull it.
Yes, as you do, I'll say that the preview is that Yanu is incredibly defeated in the next episode. There's a moment where they're doing one of those like arc puzzles that we saw Drew win last season, and they're putting together this long word and it tumbles, and Banu, of all people, is screaming at Jess, and he's like, Jess, like blaming her for this. So I'm like, ooh,
that's not a good sign.
Not a good sign for Jess, but that whole tribe is just like down and out, which we saw this episode, and it's going to continue. So I'm worried for them.
So Chantel is in the lead with 10 points. David is just behind with 7, and I have 5 points.
And you had Jalinsky.
I did have Jalinsky. He was not one of my top picks, but I did think he might be a strong dude.
Yeah, and he was like tall,
and he's young, you know, sometimes they're just helpful and fit, but he's not going to be in the game anymore.
Nope.
So, I did enjoy talking to him. He has a good sense of humor about it all. Like, he admitted to acting the fool out there.
Yeah.
And understanding why they had to take him out. If you have not watched that exit interview, please go check that out. He also talked about the rules with Sweat and not being able to plug up the holes.
Yeah.
Talked about Q saying we should quit first. You know, there's some good nuggets in there. So check it out.
Check it out. I'm liking this season so far, though. This is a good cast.
Oh, this is a great cast. And even though I was like, let's get to a challenge, The upside is we got to know a lot more of them than we usually do.
Yeah.
So the second episode coming up this week is also going to be 2 hours.
All right.
So please, okay.
Plan accordingly.
Give me a reward. Hopefully they have a reward challenge.
Yeah, something.
And breaks it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But what is our regular schedule, David? Will we be here on
Thursdays?
Okay.
Yes, that is the plan for Survivor.
So we will go back to our usual thing, which is Thursday evening, 6:30 p.m. Pacific.
Yes.
9:30 Eastern. We will fall into that rotation because then in 2 weeks, Amazing Race premieres. So stay tuned for a draft for that. As well as footage or recaps or what do we do? Something about
all
that.
Of that.
Yes.
All of the above.
All that good stuff. Yay! Thank you guys for joining us on a Saturday. We really appreciate it.
Yes, and if you're joining us later, leave us a comment and let us know what you think about Jalinsky going home, this Nami Orange tribal domination. Do you think that is going to continue? And who are some of your early favorites after one episode?
Yeah, who are you rooting for? Very, very exciting. All right, we will see you on Monday for Traders and then Thursday for the next episode of Survivor.
All right, see you then.
Okay, bye.
Bye.